Being said, I will do it in alphabetical order as we always do. Mr. Baldoff,
Here.
Dr. Childs,
Here.
Mr. Connors,
Here.
and Mrs. Donahue.
Here.
Everyone is here. Mr. Dugan has resigned his position, is no longer on the Finance Committee. And Paul, in your remarks at the big meeting, I assume you'll be speaking about Owen, who is a great guy and contributed a lot to this committee and to the board itself.
Yeah, I'm just sorry to see Owen leave. I wish he would finish it out his term, but I will mention it during the regular meeting of the advisory board.
Yeah, I can only imagine losing his son. Geez, you're not supposed to outlive your kids, no matter how old they are. So the amendment, I sent out to each of you individually the information about the amendment proposed to the supplemental budget that we had recommended last week. And Mike, if you could just run through that, please. Each of us has seen it, but if you could just run through the genesis of it and explain why we are where we are.
Yes, no, and thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, as luck would have it, as you know, the FinCom met actually last Wednesday afternoon, and then in that FinCom meeting, I mentioned how we had met in Stoughton last Tuesday with actually the mechanical engineer Mark Tachi, who has actually joined our meeting tonight, and he followed up with us. And told us that unfortunately, based on the quotes, and based on the specs that he was receiving, and putting together for the project, that he recommended that we do, actually increase from 105,000 to 200,000, the amount of funding that we would budget, in order to go out to bid, for the project. And he explained in the supplemental information that I sent out that, in terms of the social distancing regulations, that is having an impact on the labor market as well. In that, is increasing the pricing. And also in terms of the equipment, is an extremely high demand, due to COVID, and all the focus, on the air engineering, in the circulation as well. So, at this point we do, through our unappropriated balance, we have the ability to deal with it. It is, as I mentioned and as I indicated in the supplemental budget, the updated estimate is $95,000 more than we were anticipating. However, this project is, it's been on our radar for about 10 months now. We want to deal with it, and as I mentioned last week, we also know it's a priority for the trial court as well. And as I mentioned, Mark is here, if anyone has any follow-up questions, on the additional information.
Do any other members have questions of Mike or Mark? Mark, if you could introduce yourself and your background, that would be helpful.
Sure, I'm Mark Tachi. I'm the president of Crossfield Engineering. We're in Groveland, Massachusetts. We're mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection engineers. We've been doing HVAC in large and small buildings and special projects for about 35 years in the state. Started the business with my father in 1984. He passed in 2001. So we're very knowledgeable in this. We've done a lot of these and become extremely knowledgeable in what's going on right now in this climate. Kind of by default, people know us from public work, do a lot of fire and police stations. So a lot of communities and churches have come to us for some of this work that they have to get done. In a lot of cases, like with schools, the old schools with the hydronic systems, with the air handlers, we've had to just take and refurbish those, rebuild them, because things are so hard to get. If you can get them, they take a long time to get. And if you're in a rush with parents yelling at you, particularly with schools, they want answers. Why isn't the air flowing? How much air is flowing? So a lot of that's being refurbished, but when we buy the new equipment, we're finding that as soon as they start building a unit, the raw materials are hard to get. They take longer to get. And then at the factory, when they start putting everything together with the COVID staffing and all that, it's just by the end of it, sometimes it's twice as much. So the numbers that I'm giving Mike and that I have discussed with Mike, I think are realistic. I mean, it's just what we and it's unfortunate. I think it's a real situation. I don't think anybody's gouging, but this is just where we all are right now.
Do any of the members have questions of Mike or Mark?
Oh, Mr. Chairman, more a comment than a question. I just want to say that I had a fairly long discussion with Director Mullen. I'm automatically a skeptic of any budget adjustments, and particularly ones that increase budget. And I was very impressed with his knowledge, the background, the work he had done to research this and understand the problem. So I'm not pleased to see the numbers go up, but we understand why, and I'm very satisfied that there's been very good due diligence on the county's end at presenting a good, accurate budget adjustment.
Great. Thanks, Carl. Carl and I had an email exchange back and forth, and there was one piece that I wasn't sure of. You got that answer, Carl, I believe. Okay, with Mike. So we're in a good place there. Dr. Child, I don't see your face. Oh, there you are. Any questions, Liz?
I have a question.
Beth? Oh, who we got here? Paul, I'm sorry.
No, this makes a lot of sense to me, and the plan is to take it out of the reserves, I understand, right? Like, because it's essential work to do.
Yeah, like it's actually to take it out of like all the unappropriated balance, which is different. Yes.
Yes, thank you, yes.
Yep.
Great, that's
Thanks,
it.
Beth.
Like,
Paul, I'm sorry.
Mark, are these 2 rooftop units?
Yes. So they're makeup air units. They're not just regular rooftop units like you have in an office building. They bring in 100% outside air.
All right, but are they on existing curbs?
Well, see, that's another unforeseen condition. The contractor, and I put a lot of depth into this. I spoke with Chris Lee at Industrial Burner. He's one of the service companies over there for the county, and he told me he thinks there's problems with those curbs and the steel. And you don't know until you get into it. We really have to start engineering it. And by problems, I think it was never right in the first place. The unit was never fitted properly. But we have things called adapt-a-curb and things that we can do. We would not go to any extremes, without first knowing and having them being engineered. But it would be a horrible surprise if we didn't have a few grand in there for that. So there's money in there for unforeseen conditions too, and that is one of them, the mounting.
So if you had to use 2 new curbs and do additional roofing work, is the $20,000 going to be adequate?
So well, actually, we have that in the cost of the units. There's a couple $1,000s in there for some curb work. And then there's a little bit of money in the contingency for additional curb work. So, we have an adapter curb that we're going to get with it, a standard one, but, we'll have to see what is there for the steel. And then we may need a custom adapter curb or something that maybe we engineer or devise ourselves. But there's money there that we don't know what it is. It's truly an unforeseen at this point. And there may be some other things that we have to relocate up there. We have to have certain distances from our exhaust to our intakes. And so there's other evaluations that we have to do along the way that I'm not going to comment on somebody else's installation years ago or somebody else's design, but we have to make things right from this point on. And I'd rather not surprise you, in the middle of construction, which means change orders. So we're kind of carefully using our experience to kind of anticipate some of the things that may occur.
I'm sorry, you just used a scary word, change order.
I know. My dad told me he was at a job meeting once and a contractor pulled up and his license plate was A901. That's the change order.
Mm-hmm.
The change order document for the state, but whatever.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Helen, do you have any questions?
No, but I sure hope you'll be kind to us, because we're just a lovely county.
I'm very kind. Ask Mike.
Yes.
Nancy knows. And actually, my fee, I was putting that together, and my fee, I'm keeping on the lower side. I'm not basing it on these escalated conditions that you have. I'm basing it on around what the original budget was for a percentage.
That sounds very fair. Thank you.
So I really, and I think I've made that clear to Nancy and Mike. Again, I'm not trying to get rich off of one project.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Would there be a motion to approve the amendment in our recommendation?
So moved.
Seconded.
Second, Paul. Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Mr. Baldoff,
Aye.
Dr. Childs,
Aye.
Mr. Connors,
Aye.
Mrs. Donahue.
Aye.
Okay, we are good. Any other business to come before the Finance Committee?
Not that I know of, Mr. Chair. We should be good.
Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Before you do, Joe,
Yes,
I would like to thank all the Finance Committee for serving this year and doing a terrific job in these astronomical times. The more meetings on the Finance Committee in this first 6 months than we've ever had in years.
oh, sorry to
Thank you for a
everybody.
great
for that.
job.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, everybody. So we're going on to the advisory board now for the folks who have just.
Thank you, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Do we have to change the location or do we just stay here?
No, Helen, you stay right where you are.
I'm leaving.
Ha!
Hi, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
I hope you have good weather.
Yeah.
All right. And it looks like Mr. Chair Connors, we have a pretty good group that I would say we have exceeded a quorum at this point. And I know we're waiting for Bill Buckley to rejoin at this point. And here he is.
There is a quorum.
Yeah, like it looks like there is one. I'll have it a guarantee one. We're gonna have to go through and call the roll. Yeah, whenever you're ready, sir.
I'm ready. Chuck.
All right, we should be good, Paul.
Okay. Call the meeting to order, please. Phil, if you read the roll.
Sure. Okay. Avon,
Here.
Bellingham,
Here.
Braintree,
Here.
Brookline,
Here.
Canton,
Here.
Cohasset. Cohasset. Is that a here? No. Okay. Dedham,
Yeah.
Dover's vacant. Foxborough. Foxborough.
Here.
Thank you. Franklin,
Here.
Holbrook. Holbrook. No Holbrook. Medfield,
Here.
Medway,
Here.
Millis,
Here.
Milton,
Here.
Needham,
Here.
Norfolk,
Here,
Norwood.
here,
Norwood is here. Plainville,
Here,
Quincy,
Here.
Randolph,
Here.
Sharon, Sharon.
Ed's
Here.
right there.
Here.
Oh.
I can see Ed.
Okay, they put him back in. I took him out. Let's see, Stoughton. Stoughton. Walpole,
Here.
Wellesley,
Here.
Excuse me for a minute, Chuck. I would like to welcome Amy as a new member to the advisory board on behalf of the county advisory board. Welcome. You got some tough shoes to fill. Owen was a great guy.
I know I do. Thank you very
He's a
much.
great guy, not was, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. I look forward to meeting all of you, hopefully someday soon in person.
I'm sorry, Phil, go ahead.
okay, sure. Westwood,
Here.
Weymouth, Weymouth, oh, Rentham, Rentham. With that, I have 85.93.
Quorum. That is a quorum. With that, we there?
Yes.
All right. Is Commissioner O'Brien on?
Yes, he is.
Commissioner O'Brien?
Yes.
On behalf of the advisory board, I know this is probably going to be your last meeting on the advisory board as a county commissioner. Extremely sorry to see you go. I've enjoyed serving with you all over all these years, and I would appreciate it if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I'd be very happy to, and I'd just like to say that it's been my honor to be a county commissioner for 18 years, and I've worked with the advisory board on many occasions, and they're a dedicated board, and they do a great job. They are the engine of Norfolk County, and without their advice and expertise, county cannot operate. And I wish Dick Steady a lot of luck in the future. And he's got two good guys to work with, and Commissioner Collins and Commissioner Shea, and probably one of the better directors we've had in Norfolk County, and Mike Mullen, a fantastic individual who does a great job, and he knows county government inside and out. And with that, I will lead you in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United
of
States
the United States of America,
and to
to
the
the
republic
republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you,
God bless
Commissioner.
you, and thank you for the call.
bless
It
you.
means a lot to me.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you
Yes, Charlie.
very much, Paul.
Mr. Chairman,
Welcome.
Charlie Ryan from Braintree. Just want to say what an honor and privilege it's been to serve on the Norfolk County Advisory Board with Fran O'Brien. At one point in my political career, I was one of the younger guys. And I know that Franny took me under his wing and gave me a lot of good advice and showed me how to serve Norfolk County and his leadership. And he's a great man. And I want to say thank you so much to Franny for taking me under his wing and showing me how county government should be run. And I really appreciate it. And God bless you, Franny O'Brien. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charlie. And you ran a good campaign, and it was a good fight between you and Dick and Guilfoyle, and you all would have been damn good guys on the board. Thank you for the comments.
Ellen, you look like you want to weigh in.
Thank you so much. Mr. Franny O'Brien, please know how much your Norwood family loves you. It's been since the 1960s that you've been a part of us here. And your whole Mary Foley, Mary Boyle, my dad, all of us, my sister, we love you very much, Franny.
Well, Helen Donahue, I drove your father into the advisory board meeting of the MBTA way back in the 60s and 70s. And I want to say also I'm very sorry about the passing of your brother, Helen.
Thank you, Franny. Thanks. Thank you.
Anybody else like to weigh in?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if I may, I know we have a full agenda, and I'm sure everyone's going to have some great things to say about the legendary Mr. O'Brien, but it's been my pleasure to work with him as my capacity on the advisory board for all these years. Always someone you looked up to, always someone you respected, and he's been very kind in his comments to me and helpful as well in helping in the transition. Those are big shoes to fill. I don't know. I'll do my very best. And obviously we'll be leaning on him in the future, and hopefully we'll tap into him when we need him. He's a wealth of institutional wisdom. But Fran, we wish you all the best. I thank you for your kind comments, and you'll be missed. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dick.
Thanks,
I know you do a good job. You got a great knowledge of county government, and as I said before, you got a good team, working with a good team, and that means a lot to do good for Norfolk County. Thank you, Dick.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Peter Padula, I just wanted to say, if I could briefly, I got to know Franny very well over the years, Chairman O'Brien, and he's classy, knowledgeable, an incredible asset to the county. And I learned a lot, and I emulated some of the things that he's done. And I just wanted to say thank you, Franny, for getting to know you. And the one thing I learned, and I mentioned this over the last few years, especially when I was chair, is you really have the county's best interests at heart. And you're just a wonderful person. And I know that I can always reach out to you if we need to talk, and the same thing for you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter. And
Thanks, Peter.
likewise, you've been a damn good member of that board over the years, and you always stepped to the plate when they asked you to be chairman and to serve in different committees. And you represented Franklin in a great fashion. And I thank you for the kind remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh,
Paul, may I?
go ahead, Ed.
Franny, this is Eddie Little and Sharon. I just want to say I've known you for a number of years, and it's a pleasure to serve with you on the advisory board, but it's more of a pleasure to serve with you on the Norfolk Aggie board. And I know both of us love the school. I don't think anybody loves the school any more than you do, but I'm coming close second to you. And I will definitely keep any vote I take in regards to the school, Fran. I will think of how you vote first.
I thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you, Eddie, and I thank you also for your friendship over the years, which I have cherished, and that meant a lot to me. Just being a damn good friend, and both of us also being ex-firefighters. I don't forget that. Always a Jake, always a Jake.
Damn right. Once a Jake, always a Jake. There you go.
Yep.
Thank you.
You.
Is there anybody else? Nobody else wanting to weigh in right now?
Joe, you're on mute.
Huh?
He's asking Josephine how to unmute.
Oh,
We all know that feeling. Yeah, Patty.
I've been there, Ed.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He
You
gave
gotta
up.
go find her.
Registry of Deeds.
Hey, Paul, could I say a few words?
Tina?
Yeah, thank you. When Franny wanted to be a county commissioner, I knew he was an old school politician, and I was kind of nervous, to be honest with you. And over all these years, I've come to know Franny, and he's like a father figure to me. And I can't tell you the love in my heart that I have for this guy. It's genuine, and Franny knows that. And I just want to thank him for all that he's done for me and how he's taught me. And I'm still learning every day. So Franny, I don't want you to go. But I know Joe's going to say something nice, Paul. But before we get into that, I just wanted to tell you that I think after we had a discussion about how much we love Franny, which is all true, I think you have to start the meeting and say, pursuant to the executive order and all that at the beginning. So I think you can get that in after we talk about Fran, but I think you have to go back to that before you go into the minutes. I just want
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if I can weigh in just for a second. My connection with Norfolk County started 30 years ago this year. And I can tell you, having seen so many people in the various roles here in county government over that period of time, and being directly involved with the county for the last 20 years, Commissioner O'Brien, you are tops in that group. You should be very proud of the work that you did on behalf of Norfolk County, and the county is a better place because of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the advice. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael.
I'll let you guys get back to work, and good luck and God bless you all.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Franny.
Thank you.
Joe?
Jump in there, Joe.
Mr. Shea?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It wasn't my intention to say anything, but I realize, of course, this being the last meeting this year of the advisory board, I do want to say a few words. I've been fortunate enough to be associated with Franny going way back because I worked for 6 years with him in the MBTA. So I knew the legend a long time ago. I was fortunate enough to be elected in 16 and serve with Franny the last 4 years, and he has taught me a lot. But I want to tell you that I will be, Commissioner Collins and I and Commissioner-elect Stady will be reaching back to all of you officially because we're going to have some more praise for Franny the rest of this month at our last meeting. And we have some plans that we're going to share with everyone. I can't share them with you tonight, but he is a great guy, and he knows the right thing to do. And anyone that can lead us through 2020, I don't have to tell anyone here what a year this has been and how tough it's been, and all that you've accomplished and all that everyone else has worked for is a great tribute to Franny. And I just wanted to echo everyone's sentiments. But you'll be hearing from us very soon, the three commissioners and the office staff, for some plans we have to salute Franny. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you, Commissioner Shea. And the only request that I have of you, Commissioner, is anything that happened at the MBTA when I worked for you, we keep between you and I.
The statute of limitation has run out.
Because always remember what the MBTA stands for. Many bad things ahead.
Joe, I'm sure that you have something planned, and I just thought it would be appropriate at this time for the advisory board members during the roll call, if they wanted to weigh in, to have their opportunity for
Right.
the last time.
That's fine. I wanted to say happy holidays and everything, but this is very appropriate. And I don't want to go out of December without telling you that we have some plans.
Great, thank you.
And it's very hard during COVID to get some of them accomplished, but we're going to get it accomplished.
Everything's been hard during COVID. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Paul. Thank you, folks, very much.
You're welcome, Frank. You deserve everything that you're going to get for praise.
Yep. Okay, good, and thank you, and have a good evening, all of you. Thanks again, I appreciate it.
Mr. Mullen, would you read in the executive order, please?
Yes, the executive order on remote.
And thank you, Mr. Collins, for correcting me.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Executive Office on Remote Participation. On Thursday, March 12th, 2020, Governor Baker, he issued an order, an order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, which the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. That order was effective immediately, until it is rescinded, or until the state of emergency is lifted. So that is that, Mr. Chairman. And now we officially comply with that.
At this point, do we have to find out if there is anybody else on the line in the system other than the advisory board members?
No, this is a public meeting, and we've let every member of the public, who has wanted to join the public meeting, we have let them in.
All right. Does anybody want to be recognized? No. Then I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the June 17th meeting.
I have a problem with the June 17th minutes, please.
Yes.
It's Patricia St. Aubin. On page 3 of the minutes, where we have the roll call of the vote, my name is spelled S-T-A-U-B-I-N, and that's not my legal name. My legal name is S-A-I-N-T. It did appear appropriate in the next set of minutes, but not in the June minutes. If that could be corrected, I'd appreciate it, please.
Motion to approve the amended minutes.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Doc. All those in favor of the motion? Any discussion?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye.
Unless there's anybody in opposition, that's a unanimous vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the minutes for October 28, 2020. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There being nobody in opposition, that is a unanimous vote.
Excuse me, can I just
Ms. Gould.
make sure that I'm noted as abstaining just because I wasn't here for the meetings?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mullen, the 2021 second supplemental budget.
Yes, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have for your consideration and approval a fiscal year 2021 proposed second supplemental budget in the amount of $499,871.07. Hold on, I just need to let someone into the Zoom. The supplemental budget, as we outlined in our communication over to you, the supplemental budget relies on an expected $249,871.07 state CARES Act reimbursement. It relies on $200,000 from the FY20 unappropriated balance, and it also relies on $50,000 from prior years dedicated deed revenue. Like, and specifically, we are proposing to return $45,000 to the maintenance's contractual service line item, like in $17,000 in the cleaning supplies line item, and these come after contracting for air duct cleaning services, like at the Quincy and Brookline District Courts, in the amount of $32,000, as well as spending $7,500 this fall for air quality testing, and another $5,000 in signage. Then relating to the cleaning supplies item, the maintenance departments, like all their work in cleaning and sanitizing all of our buildings, has necessitated additional expenses. And at this point, we only have $13,000 remaining, in the line items $35,000 appropriation. The second supplemental budget, it also proposes a $20,000 appropriation in our legal budget. And the $20,000, it will help actually to continue to address all the COVID-related employee issues. And also for the past 3 years, we have been working on actually an updated employee handbook. Like our current handbook actually was created in the mid-1970s, and we really want to get going. And we want to wrap that project up finally as well. In terms of the Registries of Deeds budget, the supplemental budget also proposes increases of $50,000 each to the Registry of Deeds miscellaneous supplies and their computer supplies line item. In the month of November, the registrar, he requested $50,000 of that. And then out of our CARES Act, reimbursement, we are also dedicating another $50,000. And you will also note that a portion of the supplemental budget proposes $200,000 to replace the 2 package rooftop air handlers at the Stoughton District Court. While the county has been relying on the court's hot air system and their ductless split air conditioning units. As we know, one of the trial court's focuses and all of our focuses have been addressing all the air engineering and the air circulation. And this was a priority that we identified pre-COVID. In working with the trial court, they have requested, and we have agreed that this would be, it should be a priority to address. Additionally, we're proposing $23,000 for a new county website. Also $10,000 for civil engineering to address an outfall issue up behind the Registry of Deeds in the Dedham District Court. And finally, in terms of working with the Aggie, and helping the Aggie and working with them to address the reopening costs, our supplemental budget proposes almost a total of $85,000 to help the school meet those issues. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions, Mr. Chairman.
We hear from the Finance Committee. Mr. Reardon?
He's on mute.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I was muted.
That's all right, Joe.
I apologize. Mr. Chair, the Finance Committee met last week and met again just a few moments ago. And the Finance Committee unanimously votes to recommend this as the commissioners have.
Thank you. Any questions of anybody?
Chairman,
Go ahead, please.
John Polito did them. I know the last meeting there was a comment about the balance left over in the about $1.9 million. How much of that money we're using, and what we do with the balance of that money? Is it being put aside, or because the minutes did say we're going to have an update this meeting on the balance, and I don't see an update. Number one.
Yes, in terms of the balance, yes, in terms of the balance as presented, the FY20 second supplemental, like out of the $1.9 million that we said we actually had on October 28th, we are proposing to spend 200,000 of that. To deal with the air issues at Stoughton District Court.
So what's the plan? What's the plan on the balance of the money? Do you have any plans for it, or should move, or should that go to?
No. In terms of the balance, we're working with the Abrahams Group, and basically that balance is our free cash balance right now.
Right.
And in terms of working with the Abrahams Group, I would imagine in the spring, hopefully we will have plans to use some of that for capital. Some of that to address our OPEB. And some of that to go into stabilization, but the financial policies I'm sorry, that we're working on with our consultant will really come up with a plan to how to spend that funding.
The reason why I just questioned that, Mr. Chairman, is because, in years to come, we might have some money issues. I'd like to make sure we put some away. In case some year we have a downslide in the income with the retro deeds to offset it. And I don't want to spend it all. I would have some on a rainy day fund. As you know, a couple of years ago, we had some money issues and we had to do a lot of cutbacks in employees. So I just don't want to spend it. We don't need to spend it, and just put it aside for a good rainy day fund. That's all. That's what I'm getting at, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Polito, you know that they will not spend the money. You have to spend the money.
Right. But by the time it gets to us, most times the deal's already done. You know that, and I know that, okay?
Okay.
By the time it comes to us.
That's why you've been on the board for so long. You realize that
I
it's
know,
time
but
to save money.
to us, it's really too late. It's too late. It's already done and signed deal. So I know that. So that's why I said that. The other question is the $200,000 for the Stoughton. I'm not against that at all. But was the do we have a report from our facilities director in regards to that issue, or who? I'm not questioning that we need it, but what report do we have? Do we have an engineering report? Do we have a report from our maintenance director on that?
Yes, like in terms of what we have now, the systems that we have now are non-operational. Like what we're proposing, they've been non-operational, actually for about 10 years now.
Well, my question, we need it. I just want to make sure we have reports from the people who work for us. The director of maintenance and the engineer that come in. I mean, I'm not questioning. I know it's needed.
Yep.
I want to make sure, because I know, to be honest with you, the building at our office, my understanding, the director of facilities wasn't involved in that process at all. So I want to make sure we have a guy who was director of facilities. Was he involved in the whole process? Because sometimes he's not, and we pay a guy to do that. So that's why I'm raising that issue.
Yes, he was absolutely involved in this process, as well as the county electrician. Yes.
Okay. Other buildings he wasn't. I know that for sure.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have a follow-up question on the same issue, actually, as my colleague, Mr. Polito. The $200,000, it says in the report that it was due to faulty installation in 2004.
Yes.
You said that it's been non-operational for 10 years. is there any reserves or bonds that the installation people were asked to put up in order for this situation? I mean, if it was notified at one point that it was faulty installation, we've got to have some recourse, but it's 16 years ago. I guess I'm curious to know why we waited 16 years to fix something that hasn't worked for 10 years.
Yes, it is my understanding that the firm that was awarded the contract based on the procurement went bankrupt.
And at the time of installation, there was no bond required or anything?
To be honest with you, I believe I have, I have heard that we pursued it at the time, but nothing came of it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Right here, please.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Robert Damisch from Walpole. My question pertains to the agricultural school, the 84,839 figure. Within that, it states that this will include HVAC cleaning. Is that a one-time cleaning or is it recurring cleaning? Do we know?
Yes, I believe that was a one-time cleaning that is now being reimbursed for by the state, Mr. Damisch.
Okay, that's good. My reasoning was, I know the CARES Act, I believe, expires 12/31. My concern was if it was a recurring, would we have to submit for any more before then? But thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve
Ryan.
motion to approve the fiscal year 2021 second supplemental budget. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Beckerman from Avon, made by Mr. Ryan from Braintree. On the vote, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Anybody in opposition? Nobody in opposition, that vote is a unanimous vote. And the reason I do it that way is because of the circumstances we're voting under. I can't see everybody. Best practices review. That go over to Beth?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to report out. Mike, jump in if I misspeak, okay?
Yes.
Or add in, okay.
Have at it.
All right. So we are really thrilled we're working with the Abrams Group. And I think one thing I would remind the board about is that we should have some serious information from them as we get ready to do next year's budget. And actually, that was a consideration when they were chosen because of their timeline, making it possible for us to include information in the next year's budget. So a lot of the questions that came up tonight, I think that's, hopefully we will be able to have some information to help with that. So the Abrams Group has hit the ground running. They made a data request that was sent out prior to Thanksgiving to the county director and the county accountant to begin the capital needs inventory and planning. That includes all of our fixed assets and capital projects that have been addressed through recent fiscal year operational budgets. The Abrams Group has also begun reaching out to departments individually to discuss and begin compiling a capital needs list based on their existing fixed assets and departmental needs and priorities. They've been gathering data and information from each department. Meetings with each department are now in the process of being set up. And a capital needs program will then help inform all of our financial policies. I don't believe we've had this in a very long time, a capital needs program, a comprehensive capital needs program. Today, a call took place between the agricultural high school to help focus the reviews efforts that are related specifically to the school. Once they got in there, it became clear that we needed to better define the review's focus with regards to the school. They have some particular expertise in working with schools, and I think that there's a lot that they can offer here to help us make this sustainable financially going forward. A best practices review with the county's Tyler Technology and Infinite Visions financial software consultant is also happening this week. With the Abrams Group participating obviously in that meeting. And lastly, the Abrams Group is compiling a summary of issues identified through the project onboarding process that will be included within the different scope of the work areas. And this will be presented to the county in the coming weeks to the advisory. Is that what we call ourselves? The advisory group to the the county advisories group to the consultants. And that includes our county director, Mike, Commissioner Shea, and yours truly. So we'll report back as we get more information from them. Really, they're a pleasure to work with. They really know their stuff, and I think the county made a really good decision in choosing them, and I think you made a really good decision in setting aside the money to take a comprehensive look and to get our finances in order for the future. So this was a good thing to do. Thank you. That concludes my report, Mr. Connors. I'm sure that Mr. Mullen will have something to add, or maybe Commissioner Shea.
I'm anxious to hear. Thank you, Beth. You did a great job.
No problem.
You know I'm speechless, Mr. Chair.
Wow. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I don't have anything else. She covered it all. I'm speechless. So thank you, Dr. Childs.
Wow. Mr. Ridden, would you like to chime in?
Look, I'm not on mute. That's good. That's a start. No. Yeah, I'm in the right direction, Paul. You know, it's one step at a time to do these types of things. No, I don't have anything to add. I think that I do, if I could, as a point of privilege, if that's okay with you, Mr. Chair.
Absolutely.
I do want to recognize the members of the Finance Committee for their outstanding work this year. And of course, we're in a calendar year as opposed to a fiscal year. But this particular calendar year, these members have, and Mr. Chair, you mentioned this during the Finance Committee meeting, have met numerous times and have done tremendous amount of work to really put the county on a solid path. Through the commissioner's intent, we certainly work with the commissioners on it. Director Mullen and his team have done an outstanding job, but I do want to recognize the Finance Committee. They're volunteers, they volunteer their time for the good of Norfolk County government. And I would, as chair, want to thank them for all that they've done, because just listening to Beth now, I believe it's making a difference, and I hope the other members I serve with believe that as well.
Joe, if I may. Joe,
You're the chair.
Are you looking over my sheet? Because that was the next thing on my list. I wanted to thank the Finance Committee, especially you as the chairman, Dr. Childs for her work, Carl Baldock for his work on the committee, and Owen Duggan, who we're going to miss tremendously. It was great on the Finance Committee for all the years that he put in. I think you guys have done you people have done a terrific job on the Finance Committee, along with working with Mike Mullen, who's done a great job in providing all the information that we needed when we requested it. And there have been numerous meetings. And I thanked you all earlier this evening when we had a conference call. And I just wish the advisory board could appreciate how much time you've all spent on meetings this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Chair, one other point of privilege, if I may.
Absolutely.
I want to recognize my colleague from Westwood for the second best background tonight. So, Mike, I think I win with the Aggie behind me, but yours is pretty good.
Thank you.
Wait till the next meeting. Ed Little's going to use the background of the Aggie school for you.
That's what I have.
That's what he has.
Mr. Chairman.
I noticed.
Mr. Chairman, can I jump in for 1 second?
Absolutely, Beth. Go ahead.
All right. I want to just say Joe's being quite humble about how hard he worked to keep this all the Finance Committee rolling this year. And I really, we were thrilled, all of us, I think we're really happy to work under his leadership. And I just wanted to say, I certainly don't mind being one of the guys, and Helen and I will share our Lancome secrets with you if you like.
I missed Helen, I'm sorry.
I'm teasing you.
Helen, mea culpa, mea culpa.
I mean it. I don't mind being one of the guys at all. I appreciate it. But if you need Lancome, Helen and I've got you covered.
Oh, great.
Oh, Helen, she'll never forgive me.
I won't. I won't.
I'll hold the sign again.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Little,
Yes, sir.
could you tell us where we're gonna get the poinsettias?
What?
I don't think, listen, you're in 2020 year. Next year.
At this point, is there anybody else who would like to add anything?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, are we done with the agenda? You've done an incredible
Oh,
job.
well, I'm still moving on. I'm coming up to you next.
Okay, I thought that we were all done. You were wrapping up.
Well, are you resigning so you can become commissioner?
No, you were talking a little about poinsettias. I thought the meeting was over, so I thought, you know.
No. A friend of mine from Canton asked me if you were. Another one on you.
Oh, man.
Okay. Is there anybody, first of all, I would like to acknowledge the fact that this is a altogether different Christmas meeting that we are having at this time. I miss being at the Registry of Deeds office. I miss the hospitality of Registrar O'Donnell in all these years and the poinsettias. And hopefully next year we will get back to that. But in the changing times that we have this year with the opening, when we talked to Commissioner O'Brien, let him open with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, recognizing Owen Duggan for his years of service, and we'll do more on that later on in Wellesley. And the transition of Dick Stady becoming a former member of the advisory board, not senior any longer after January 1st. And a replacement coming for Dick, and we welcome Dick on board as a new county commissioner. And I'm going to step into the senior role, Dick.
That's right. You finally did it.
Go ahead.
Paul, you finally did it. You can tell, because for years you were claiming you had the seniority on me, but now the record will be yours with, and that's great. I just want to say very briefly, it's been an honor and a privilege representing Canton and working with so many of you for so many years. If I start firing off names, I'm sure I'm going to leave people out, but I think of obviously the present members. I go back to obviously people like Jimmy Mullen, who was a lot of fun. Tom Riolo, soul rest in peace, represented Norwood for many, many years. We had Greg from Weymouth. We had even Jack Youngclose back in the day was on the board. You know, I go back, we actually had a hospital at the time where you served as a trustee of the hospital. So I got to meet a lot of people in that capacity. It's just been an incredible experience and one that I obviously will treasure and take with me. And I'm very fortunate. I feel very fortunate to be able to carry on and work with you in a different capacity, but obviously with the same goal as all of you know. I know each person here has the best interests of the county. And that's what makes Norfolk County, I mean it sincerely, one of the best counties, if not the best county in the state. Everybody here volunteers. You give your heart and soul in terms of what you do for the town and for the county. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you and the challenges we have ahead. It's going to be some tough times, but I know that as a team, we'll get it through it. Like I said, I appreciate all the fun and all the good times and all the struggles that we went through. And there were many, but you know, I just a thank you from the heart to all of you. And I'm hopefully looking forward to working with all of you in the next phase. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else would like to say anything?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chair, I have a question. Damish from Walpole. So on November 19th, I'm sorry to bring it back to business, but on November 19th, there was a public hearing that concerned Walpole, in particular, the solar panel proposal up on North Street and also behind the agricultural school. Will this be at some point come in front of the body here for a vote?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Will the proposal on the solar panels to be put in place in North Street in Walpole and behind the agricultural school, will that come in front of this body here, the board, for a vote?
No, my understanding is that would be between the commissioners and the school committee.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman.
Charlie? Braintree, Charlie Ryan?
I just want to thank everyone, all the commissioners, all the finance committee, all the folks that are on the committee to deal with the consultant, the chairman, everyone for all this work that we've had needed to be done in 2020. It was a very difficult year. And I wish everybody a happy, safe, merry holiday, Christmas season, and God bless everybody. And let's hope for better things in 2021. God bless everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Nobody else? This time, as the chairman, I would like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and enjoy the Christmas season. Be safe. I thank you all for all of the work that you've done this year. I mean, all of you, Finance Committee, Commissioner's Office, all the county employees, everybody has just pulled together tremendously, and we've had a great year, and it shows it in the results of our budget. Thank you all. Be safe.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Paul. Merry
You're welcome.
Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Good night.
Happy
Thank you.
New Year.
Be safe.
Good night.
Leo Donald, how are you?
Good, Paul. Healthy New Year to everybody.
Thank you, too.
Billy, Happy New Year.
Yeah, be well now. Be well and safe.
Happy New Year to you and your family.
Peter.
Thank you.